New court date for man charged with Seneca Gray's murder. Gregory Roberts, who was charged alongside Mary Morrison with murder in relation to the 2017 death of 15-year-old Green Pond High School student Seneca Gray, will return to court on Thursday. Roberts, who is represented by attorney at law Paris, was given the new court date by presiding High Court Justice Andrea Thomas when he appeared in the St. James Circuit Court on Monday. During the proceedings, the court was told that a police officer who was supposed to review the communications forensics and cybercrime unit report had resigned. Another cop should have reviewed the report, but the Crown Counsel informed the court that the cop was requesting 3 weeks to have the certificate available to the court. Meanwhile, Paris said that Robert has been in custody for almost 6 years and that the defense has been requesting that the case be tried before a judge alone. The matter was subsequently adjourned until Thursday, March 9. Roberts was remanded. Roberts and Morrison were arrested and charged with murder after Gray's body was found on February 1, 2017, with multiple stab wounds in bushes in Irwin, St. James, 3 days after she had been reported missing. Gray, a grade 10 student, was last seen alive in Montego Bay on her way home from the funeral of a schoolmate. Morrison, who is presently serving a life sentence, had pleaded guilty to the charge last September and was sentenced the following month. 4 charged for robbing woman of items valued $100,000. 4 men were charged with robbery aggravation and receiving stolen property following an incident on Upper Elliston Road in Kingston on Tuesday, February 28. Charged are 24-year-old Dwayne McIntosh, otherwise called Deco, a laborer of Bustamante Highway, Kingston 13, 29-year-old O'Shane Reed of Carliston Place, Cumberland in St. Catherine, 19-year-old Giovanni Green, otherwise called Jaheim, a higgler of Mark Lane in Kingston, and a 17-year-old boy of Greater Portmore, St. Catherine. Reports from the Elliston Road Police are that about 10:40 p.m., a woman was walking on the roadway when she was pounced upon by occupants in a motor vehicle. 2 men alighted from the vehicle and proceeded to rob her of her personal property. A report was made to the police and an identification launched. At about 11:30 p.m., lawmen intercepted the same vehicle with the 4 accused aboard. The vehicle was searched and the complainant's properties were reportedly found. The properties have an estimated value of $100,000. McIntosh, Reed, Green, and the teenage boy were charged on Monday, March 6. Klansman boss Brian, emotional after brother walks free. Klansman gang leader Andre Blackman Brian became teary-eyed in court Tuesday as he watched his brother Kevon Green walk free in the ongoing trial of alleged members of the St. Catherine-based criminal outfit. Green had remained before the court on 2 counts, which charged him with membership of a criminal organization of the 25-count indictment. Upon freeing Green, Chief Justice said that there have insufficient evidence that Green locked lanes and hoard bullets under instruction from his brother. Green, who is normally seated by his brother, with whom he from time to time engaged in whispered conversations, left the dock without a backward glance, but for the tight grip on his wrist by Brian, who prevented him from shooting to his feet before the trial judge ordered him to stand. Moments later, Brian was observed with a black and white rag rubbing his masked face. Brian has been found guilty of being the leader of the notorious Klansman, along with several murders in the Martin trial, which is in its final stages. National Solid Waste Workers to be made permanent employees, says Clark. Finance and Public Service Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has announced that sanitization workers at the National Solid Waste Management Agency who have completed the necessary probationary period will become permanent employees. Clark made the announcement on Tuesday in the House of Representatives as he opened the 2023-2024 budget debate. Quoting Jamaican reggae singer Dennis Brown in his song Equal Rights, which states that every man has a right to live and to be free no matter their race, color, or class, Clark said that the workers have gone through a cycle of contracts ending, but still not being able to sustain any savings. As such, he added that the cycle has ended and that in this fiscal year 2023-2024, sanitization workers at the NSWME will have permanent status. Take sanitization workers seriously. You can't sustain any savings. As you go down the little money so, your contract end. You use it, you go. And then them call you back at work and yet you quint your eyes, the contract done again. and the cycle go round a year, a decade. After that, let me tell you something, Madam Speaker, the cycle done now, Clark said. Additionally, Clark indicated that the national minimum wage will be increased in April. However, he did not state the level of the increase, citing that the Labour Minister, Cost Overrun, is the only person allowed to make the announcement in law. Tufton insists no cost overrun at Cornwall Regional. Amid concerns of a cost overrun for the Cornwall Regional Hospital Restoration Project, Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton dispelled the notion on Tuesday, noting that no overscoping is now taking place. Tufton, who was addressing a virtual press conference, which provided an update on the hospital, said the estimated cost for the project increased from $10.5 billion to $14.1 billion. Of the new estimate, $2.5 billion will go towards new equipment and $1.1 billion will be used for technical services. This is not a case of cost overruns, it is a case of rescoping of a project to create a new facility that the people of Western Jamaica deserve, and this government has decided to do that by putting up the resources to do it. And I think that this requires a recognition and appreciation for all of us because ultimately, the benefits will occur after the people on the ground of service, said Tufton. The issue of Cornwall Regional Hospital has been an ongoing discussion, a very long and ongoing discussion. The rehabilitation program has taken some time and more recently, the cost associated with the final phase of rehabilitation, Phase 3, has been the subject of many discussions and some concerns, with assumptions being made around ballooning costs and cost overrun as opposed to rescoping of the project, he said. According to Tufton, a part of the challenge with the concerns of the project express is that said concerns fail to account for the fact that a different hospital will be created from a failed building, a sick building. It will be different in the sense of the facilities that are there. It will be different in terms of some of the services that are going to be offered, and it will be different in terms of general levels of comfort, both for staff as well as for patients, said Tufton. The discussions also fail to recognize that what has transpired over the number of years during this process is not an attempt of fixing one problem. It's a rescoping of the approach of rehabilitating the main building at CRH and INFEC, which we are now, and we have done a roadmap, he said. Meanwhile, Vivian Gard, who is a project manager for the CRH rehabilitation project, noted that the development is currently at Phase 2B, which shows be completed by April 4. We then will have a building that is now structurally sound, sealed, as in all the areas where water was seen coming in and where moisture was an issue, and which will be ready for Phase 3 to start, said Garden. Part of Phase 3 is to ensure that the services that support the building are also modern. The team has also seen, going forward, how people will be able to access services and how it will be more data-driven. Therefore, going ahead, what we have to do is to ensure the provisions are in place to allow for this move, and in so doing, we will meet the provisional in Phase 3, he said. The objective of the multi-million-dollar project is to improve service delivery in the public health system by rehabilitating the Cornwall Regional Hospital to include heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing services, and information and communications technology systems.